All right, sorry I couldn't be with you today, period 7 and period 8. Had an emergency appointment I need to take care of. But everything here should take you right through it. So again, just kind of reviewing what you should have already done before watching this video. The PowerPoint posted on Edmodo will help you fill out the Venn diagram here, prism versus pyramid, and something they have in common. And then there's a link on Edmodo that you read through it, and then after you read through the information on that site, you take the 10-question quiz. I want you to record your answer, and then if, let's say you thought answer was A, okay, and then if you got it right, put a check mark. If you got it wrong, put an X. So that's essentially what you were supposed to be doing. And then at the bottom, just put what you got for your total score, okay? These images are also in the PowerPoint, so if you're having a hard time seeing them or really understanding them in black and white, which is understandable, you can be looking at them on the PowerPoint as you are going through naming them and determining the number of faces, edges, and vertices. Okay? Don't forget to look down here. This pertains to that website you were supposed to have looked at. All right, and then the rest of the PowerPoint goes through this and kind of helps you fill in these notes about the different prism parts and the pyramids and things like that. The main thing I need you to understand is that prisms and cylinders have two bases, and the height is the distance between those bases. Pyramids and cones have one base, and their height is the distance from the apex, or the tip of the pyramid or cone, to the center of the base. And again, base and height always form that 90-degree angle. Look for that 90-degree angle, and you've got your base and your height. Like, that's what it is. And all prisms and pyramids are named by the shape of their base. Okay? So that's a quick recap of everything. Now on this back page, the idea here of what you're going to do is, as we get moving into on those volume formulas that you started to take a look at, it's important to know what all of these different numbers are representing. Sometimes we have just enough information, sometimes there's too much. So that's the point of this activity. Because again, remember, the volume formulas are for our different shapes. For prisms and cones, it's the big B, which means the area of your base. So you need to be able to identify your base and know which numbers to find the area. And then again, for a pyramid or a cone, it's the area of the base times height divided by 3. So again, you need to be able to identify what are the numbers that you have to fill in for these formulas. Okay. All right, so we're going to take a look here first at number 1. Okay, and we're going to go forth and name it. So what's easier? We see it comes to a point, so I know it's a pyramid. And remember, we name it by the shape of its base. So the opposite of that apex there, we see it's a 7 by 8. That's not a square, so it's a rectangle. So my base is a rectangle. So therefore, it's a rectangular pyramid. Okay. All right, so now we want to understand, what are these numbers representing? Well, what does this 10 represent here? And we can see it's pointing to this line, and we see a 90-degree angle going from the tip to the center of our base. Well, remember, tip to base, and that 90-degree angle, that means it's our height. It's the height, and we want to be specific. It's not just height, it's height of the pyramid, because we're going to have different heights. Remember, when we're calculating the area of the base, sometimes there's a height in that base. So we want to make sure we're being very specific that this 10 is the height of our pyramid. All right, then we have 8 by 8 and 7, and those are the dimensions of our base. So I'm going to keep with using the terms base times height, because if this is a rectangle, to find that area, I would do base times height. So it doesn't matter which one is which. So we can say base length of rectangle, and then we can say that 7 is the height, the base, sorry, I should have said base height of rectangle. So that's just getting it to be very specific, saying, hey, this belongs to the base of the object, which is a rectangle. And so now if I was to go do my formula, I would, for volume, it'd be easier to set up and know which numbers to use. All right, we're going to take a look at one more here. Okay, look at number 2. I ask that you pause the video and see if you can figure this out for yourself and come back and then check your answers. Okay, hopefully you paused it and now you're coming back and checking. And we can see it doesn't come to a point, and if I take my highlighter, yes, I see rectangles, but there's always rectangles in a prism. So I need to look to see if I see another shape, and I do. I see 2 triangles. So therefore it's a triangular prism. And since it's a triangular prism, that means my base is a triangle. So as I'm taking a look at these numbers, I have 8, 15, and 12. Well, this 12 is a line that's separating the 2 bases, and if you go back to the other side of this paper, remember that the distance between the 2 bases is the height of your prism. So this is the height of the prism. All right, so that takes care of the 12. Now we have the 8. Well, again, we see this 90-degree angle here. So if it's 90 degrees, now it's not the height of the prism, because remember, height of the prism is the distance between the 2 bases. This is the height of the triangle, our base. And we can add in base height so that we know we're talking about that. Okay, and so then this 15 is the base of the triangle, because remember, height and base form a 90-degree angle. So if we see that, we just have to figure out if it's the base and height of the base or the base and the height of the actual prism or pyramid. All right, so your task is to do numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 on your own, and just really getting you to understand and think about those different parts of those diagrams. Okay, there may be some information that when we go to use it, that it's just an extra number that we're not going to need. So it's important to be able to determine the difference between those. All right, I'll see you in class on Tuesday. Have a good rest of your day.